Scott, where you been the last 2 weeks? In a cave?
Yeah, dude, you're just so high school.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the DC Fan-imated stream. I'm, of course,
Birthday stream.
Right, part due. Thank you. Yes, it is my birthday on a Wednesday, right smack dab in the middle of the week.
Those always suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but this weekend I got friends that are like, hey, let's go do something. So we'll celebrate this weekend, and then I got other friends that say, hey, I can't do it this weekend. How about the following weekend? So hey, I'm gonna have 2 weekends.
Well, you love it when a birthday just keeps on going. I mean,
might as well, I mean, we, and it is October, which the memes are always fun when people go from, they do the meme of September 30th and then October 1st, and it's like usually
those are fun. I'll give it. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
So it's not my personality, which is fine.
Yeah,
but,
you don't seem like a Halloween-y type of person.
What's funny is Declan.
Okay.
Because my mother-in-law, I almost think her decorating for Halloween rivals her decorating for Christmas.
There's some people that are like that. It's crazy.
Well, so Declan is kind of like inherited that. So it's kind of fun. Like I'm not big on decorating for Halloween, but then he'll go out with Heather and he'll be like, okay, we're putting this here and this here. And we're just like, literally last year, our entire exterior Halloween decorations was orchestrated by an 8-year-old. So you know what? That's how it goes. So cool. Yeah. But not a spooky, do I enjoy Halloween? Sure. But I'm not I don't make it my personality, even though this episode kind of feels appropriate for us.
It fits. It definitely fits. But, going to that, I mean, it was kind of funny because, on Sunday, my mom took me out to dinner. We went to dinner and she was like, oh, this will be the birthday dinner because obviously during the week, she knows I'm busy and everything. And so she was like, oh, yeah, we'll go out to dinner. I'll treat you for your birthday. And it was great because we have this Mexican restaurant that's over here and it's so good. And when I was driving back, I because, even though I've been here for about 6-7 months, this was in a spot where can you show me how much way? I was kind of going, okay, I think I know how to get my way back, but I was cutting through this neighborhood, newish houses. There is a house. Holy shit. I mean, that's why when you said, when there are people that go over the top,
yes,
I had to do a double take and I slowed down and went, Jesus. It was it wasn't like a corner house or anything. This is in a new neighborhood, newish. Probably the neighborhood was built not even 10 years old. Couldn't have been.
Okay.
And it was just smack dab. You have all these just houses, just regular houses, and then you have this one that has just tombstones all up on the roof. It was insane.
There's a house on the corner right over here that has 2 skeletons that like those Christmas trees that cities will put in the town square. That like those bigger Christmas trees. That's how big these skeletons are, and they come out every Halloween.
Yeah, I've seen some where people are putting in the big giant things, and Halloween's on a Friday, so definitely going to be dressing up for the Vodka stream. And then I'm living in a residential neighborhood, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I've got to keep the lights off on this place. Because I'm I don't know if my brother's gonna hand out candy, but I'm I can't do it.
Do you not just want to do the bowl outside?
You could do the bowl outside. I guess we could if so inclined. Yeah, that's something. But then I'm I'm definitely gonna dress up for the Vodka stream. Now I got to figure out, because I am going to a Halloween party the week prior, so I got to figure out in the next couple of weeks of what I'm gonna freaking dress up as. I don't like to get too elaborate. I really don't like to get too elaborate. But I'm going, shit, I have no idea. Last year, did you see my costume from last year?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was essentially Wayland Yutani worker, because I had the hat, so like an overshirt with like a white t-shirt, and I had the chest burster alien popping out. Of course, I didn't realize, oh yeah, when they come out, they're flesh colored, so it looked very yeah. So I was one of those where you saw it. It was one of those where I was like showing up to a family party. I'm going to walk in and be like, this is what it is. And then I'm taking it off because it just looked a little too phallic. So,
yes, we knew where you were going with this, Dave.
Yes. But I had my intention. Everything looked good. But then I'm like, I can't, it literally looks like. So
what you're saying is you're just a soul whose intentions are good?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I thought
I was waiting for you to finish. I was waiting for you to go to the next line.
Oh, I can't remember the next line. What was the next line?
Oh, please don't be misunderstood.
Yes. Sorry. I failed. No, but I like doing like creative little things like that. So I don't know what I'm going to do this year, where it's like, I like not just going and buying something. I like actually creating something. I remember one time I did John McClane. That was
I loved your McClane. Your McClane was a good one. Yeah,
that was fun.
That was a classic Dave Halloween costume.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And then I did Ace Ventura, where I did have to go purchase the pants and the Hawaiian shirt, and that's about it. I had the boots, I had the undershirt, and then I purchased the wig too, of course. But yeah, and I almost won a costume contest. I almost won that year because we were all going out to this one bar, and they had a costume contest, and I came close because there were people that that really, because I had the walk down. I knew how to do the Ace Ventura walk, so people appreciated. I leaned into it that much. I took pictures with people. That's what was great. I was like, wow. Anyways, besides the point, yes, we're in spooky time. It's October 1st, and again, thank you to the birthday wishes. Thank you, Jason. Of course, cheers, bud. Great to see you. We got Tony Movie Chappie, D9 Blomkamp fan. Just saw Shane Black play dirty, and it was fine to what? Oh, the movie. Okay, when you say play dirty, you didn't capitalize play dirty. I was like, he played dirty. That's his new movie coming out.
That's the new movie, yes. Which, by the way, I have seen, and my review is already posted. So,
look at that. And of course, Mr. Horrible Eric. Honestly, you can see this episode as a continuing Dana's character growth from the second half of Rats. Okay. She's learned to value what she's interesting. Okay. I don't know. It seems like the ladies in this one swoon over a ghost a little too hard, but
I know, right?
I don't know about that, but yeah. But yeah, we're talking about Revenant in this episode, and it's
not a Leonardo DiCaprio movie this time.
No, not The Revenant. It's
not The Revenant. No, just Revenant. Which, by the way, so I have to ask, because I teased this at the end of last week's episode. Did you ever bother to look up what the word Revenant means?
Yes.
Okay. And what does it mean?
It means, when somebody comes back who's supposedly dead or something.
Yeah, very good. I'm so proud.
I did my homework, teacher.
You did your homework. Aw. And on your birthday, too.
Exactly. I was like, oh, yeah. Because obviously when you look at, everybody just hears that word. They just think of the Leo DiCaprio movie. And,
I mean, fair. It's an excellent movie.
Yeah, excellent movie. Definitely a great movie. But we do see a returning character in this episode,
which I did not remember.
I didn't remember either.
I think I figured it out like 2 seconds because before because I started connecting the same dots that Terry and Dana connect when I started realizing who all the featured the characters who are being mentioned or called out. I started going, oh, it's been a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, true that. So, we start off this episode where basically, when it comes to trophies, you got trophies that are like stuck to the wall or stuck to the ceiling, I should say.
Well, they're not even just stuck to the ceiling. They're in the ceiling.
Yeah, they're in the
shoved through it. Yeah, exactly.
They're shoved through there. And of course, that coach we've seen that coach before, right? Is that the same coach, or is
That's
that
the same coach? Okay, because that's the coach that like gave him crap.
Yeah.
In once again, all the characters who appear in this episode, if you go back to season 1 and watch Gollum,
yep,
all of these characters are returning because you get the coach, you get Blade,
Nelson,
and I was trying to think, because when Nelson showed up, I was like, when was the last time we saw Nelson? Like, I even wrote in my notes, Nelson returns.
Yeah,
and I was like,
been a bit.
Actually, I think it was Gollum. That was the
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah,
I think it was the last time we saw Nelson, because him jumping, him getting thrown into the water at the pier. That was Blade. Definitely hasn't shown up, because Blade was kind of like a one-off girl character for that episode, purely as the point of its obsession for Willie. So, but yeah, so the coach. They talk about the shop teacher, but once again, it's like, but all the characters who get mentioned all come from Gollum. Yeah. So it was definitely a moment where I was just going,
oh, that makes sense. But yeah, so so we get that, and then of course they start talking about this, basically this urban legend kind of thing of like, oh, we got this Garrison Jacobs kid. It's a ghost of Garrison because he like died. I forgot exactly what they said, because I think it was like, part of
that was the point. They never did. They said he died while they were building the east wing of the high school, but that's as far as it went. Like, they never bothered to go into detail about how he died or why he died. It was just they were building the east wing of the school, and he died at the same time for unspecified reasons. Thus, we're all assuming that Garrison Jacobs is the kid ghost poltergeist who is doing all the shenanigans, because it's the urban legend. It's the, it's that idea of any kind of institution. It's a classic ghost story idea that you have someone who died in the building, and thus they must be the spook that is responsible for any shenanigans going on in the building.
And of course, Terry has no idea, and then that's where you get the line of, "Where you been the past 2 weeks? In a cave?" And then of course that's just,
I love the look on his face, like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. And then of course, they look him up. I think Max is there too, right? Yeah, Max is
because Max is the one who goes to the computer and looks at the data, which is kind of funny. It's basically like the yearbook is online, and so they accessed a lot of information on a school terminal that was just hanging out in the hallway. No, it's not like we've seen the terminals before, because I remember back during I forgot the name of the episode, but the one with the kid who turned out to be the Joker that was going after Max. Remember they looked at the test scores on those terminals.
Yeah, everything's, seems like people have access. But of course, they start all the ladies start swooning over him, because he's like an athlete and all this and all that.
He's an athlete, he's a musician,
he's got everything, all the check marks, and good looking, and I mean, to the point where one of them says he can haunt my castle. I'm like, Jesus.
That was actually Chelsea. Chelsea was the one who said that.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't Dana. Obviously, that'd be, although, even if she did say it, I think it would give her a pass. Terry would give her a pass with your, with Melanie. Yeah, anyways. But, Chelsea said that, and he can haunt my castle. Jeez.
And they all went,
yeah, the giggles and everything. And then, of course, later that evening, they decide to do a little seance with a Ouija board.
I rolled my eyes. I'm going to be honest, like, a Ouija board. It's still around 50 years in the future.
Well, I mean, they say. I mean, have you ever used a Ouija board?
No.
Yeah, it's weird. I've used it once, and it was kind of funny though because I was with a group of girls, and that was only guy, which is fun. But this is back this is a long time ago. But I was like, it's just when the thing's moving, you're just assuming somebody's moving this. This is everybody's just kind of looking at each other like, who's moving it? And like I knew I wasn't moving it, but I'm like, somebody's got to be moving this thing.
I mean, I'm sorry. No offense to anyone. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it seems like it's bullshit.
That's where I stand.
But then you hear the stories like, oh yeah, you try to throw it out and then it shows back up in your fucking broom closet or something like that. I don't know. It's like I don't know anybody who's had that, kind of thing. I don't know. It's all just, it never
urban legend crap,
It's all urban legend. Yeah. So they do that and they do it in the school to summon Garrison. And then of course, this is when Nelson shows back up. And of course, just right off the bat, he's just that dick. Such a dick.
I mean, he doesn't it's like as soon as he opens his mouth, it's just like douchebag.
Yep. And he knows it. He's just like, whatever, and he wants to just be like that. And it's like, why? But then of course things start to, like he basically just kicks the board away, but then the board ends up, flying back and hitting him.
I know, and this is the point that I was just like, okay, yes, okay, so this is definitely telekinesis.
Yeah.
Which is funny because after last week's episode with mind games, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like the episode would have been slightly elevated if we would have had a little connective tissue if the brain trust had been mentioned.
You know what?
At all.
That would have been kind of cool. You bring up a good point. You really bring up a good point.
Especially when we find out when it's revealed who the villain is in the episode and how he's able to do what he's doing. It's like I really wanted just a business card or a phone call or just
something.
I wanted something because after you got the brain trust introduced last week, this seemed like a perfect opportunity to tie this together. I didn't remember at this point. I still don't remember that it's Willie. That's the bad guy. Because this episode was like one of those. I'm almost watching this episode for the first time. My brain did not remember this episode.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, okay, is somebody doing this with technology? But then I'm going, just the way everything is like, how could they be? I knew
it was telekinesis.
It was. I started realizing that, especially when we get to the shower scene, which sounds hotter than it actually is. But I'm just.
I'm like the water.
Yeah, exactly right. But so all this stuff's happening, and then of course, Terry's out patrolling in the Batmobile, and even Bruce is like, hey, you're supposed to be patrolling this area. Why do he keeps on making passes by his school because Terry feels something is going on. And then I love it when because Bruce is like, no, what the hell? And then he goes and then all of a sudden he sees the lights flicker and he goes, hey, I was right. He basically was like, yeah, I was right. I knew something was going to be going down because I'm sure he kind of Dana was there, so he probably knew something was I
don't even think he knew Dana was there. I just think I think it was more just a shit's been going down at the high school.
Yeah,
I just need to Terry is smart to go. If this has been going on for about 2 weeks, it's going to keep on happening. So he knew that if he just kept watching, he'd stumble on it.
Yeah, true. And then of course, he intervenes when it comes to a lot of things. And I love the line that he has to say right here. He's like, he basically says I can't, you can't believe I'm saying this, but if you want Nelson, you have to go through
me. Yeah. There's just that sense of, I can't believe I'm done.
I can't believe I'm protecting this guy right now, this douchebag. And of course, naturally, when things are going down and things are going crazy, the room starts closing in on both of them. And then Terry like just basically finds like this pad, like it's mat or whatever. This
right, it's like a wrestling mat or something.
Yeah, wraps Nelson out and just tosses him out the window so he can cushion his fall, and then he gets out too. And it's
I appreciated that actually.
I did too.
I like the idea of I'm going to throw you out the window. I need to protect you.
Yeah.
So here's a big cushy mat, wrap you up.
And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Of course he is. So he does that, and then of course we get back to the Bat Cave, and Terry and Bruce are talking, and then I love this conversation because
this conversation makes the episode.
So good because we've talked about in previous episodes that Bruce has seen shit.
Yes,
we know he's seen shit. We've talked about him seeing shit, like something like this happening. I mean, even Terry's like, "Oh yeah, you don't believe in this kind of stuff." And
I love how Bruce is just like, "Oh no, I've seen."
And then he starts naming the things:
demons, witch boys, zombies.
Yes. And then it's just, and I love how he sits back, and of course, and like with his cane, and he's just like, "Oh no, I believe in this stuff." But then of course he goes, "But this feels just a little too high school."
but it's the way Kevin Conroy says it though. He's so disgusted. It's like,
oh yeah,
oh no, I've seen demons, witch boys, zombies. This just seems so high school.
See, that's the thing. Even though like Bruce has seen all the shit, he's going, "Yeah, I've seen the real shit. This don't feel like the real shit, This feels like this teenage stupid stuff. I don't know. There's something weird going on here that is not quite that. There's no way that this is like, I mean, it's paranormal in a way, but it's not paranormal in a way of a haunting or a ghost."
Right, exactly. I think the point is that when he's dealt with the supernatural, I mean, we're talking like Ra's al Ghul, and like we mentioned, like Etrigan and Clarion. It's like, oh no, like he's seen like truly evil, demented things, and these are just dumbass brains.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he feels like it's very high school, and then of course, I like it when they have these moments too, where it's like, hey, we can't forget that Terry has the family, and they inject these moments.
Yeah, I will. Okay. It felt a little shoehorned in.
Okay.
Like, it's like okay. Here's what I appreciate. I'm conflicted. Okay. I thought it was such a real moment to have Matt as the young child thinking that with all this talk of ghosts and stuff that maybe he could communicate with his dead dad. Like that does seem like such a kid thing.
Yes.
I also like there still being repercussions of that this family, let's not forget that the father was murdered in the first episode. So it's like, I like that callback. I don't know. It just felt kind of like they have this scene and then there's a scene at the end. It seems really sort of disconnect, except for the ghost thing, seems really kind of disconnected from the rest of the plot. So it's like, I appreciate the thought behind what the scenes were about. I just don't know if with how, like, literally there's only 2 scenes, like, it wasn't enough. It wasn't a B plot, Does that make sense?
No, I think, I get what you're saying, because like say in the last episode, Rats, when it talked about the missing children, and then we get that scene where Terry walks back into their place, and then he sees Matt, and he like puts a blanket over. That had more impact than this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Because it was more tightly connected.
Yes.
And
it was subtle. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I see where
it wasn't Rats. It was Mind Games. It was
Mind Games. Yes.
It was Mind Games last week. But you're right. The missing kids. Yes. And then he comes and tucks Matt in. Yeah. So
That just had a little bit more, because it was a little bit more subtle. It was one scene, and it was kind of like you understood what was happening, what Terry was thinking about, because they were, because that moment in the Batcave with Bruce when looking at all the missing children. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I get everything. That did have more impact, but I still kind of appreciated, like, okay, yeah, but we got dinner table, and it was like one of those moments where it's like, oh yeah, but I'm like starting to forget what he was like and stuff like that. So I thought it was, it was something.
it was emotional, and I liked it, and it was real. It was, because that's something that people deal with a lost loved one, is that it kind of, like, the memories can start to fade.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I said, it just felt a little the way it was inserted in this episode just felt a little shoehorned in for me. But once again, that's my hang up. It's,
I get it. No, and I understand that. I totally understand that. So yeah, we have that, and then of course this is where we get to the the girls' locker room shower sequence, where this is where the ladies are all there. Dana's gonna get to her shower. She puts it at warm, and then of course it drops. And this is where I started going, okay, there's something. This is not just like mechanical or something, like where someone's using, because things are bending and getting all kind of crazy. I mean, things were doing that before, but I'm like going, maybe there's something where, I don't know. But then there's, in this sequence, there's just too much happening where like the shower heads are bending and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, you can almost feel like this was inspired by, any kind of horror movie that has to do with that. And shit goes pretty crazy in the girls' shower. That's for damn sure.
But it's kind of true. But they don't get hurt.
They don't get hurt.
They get okay. But there's also, okay, here's a question, and this is a logic question. If clearly it's happening in this moment because Blade is there. Like hindsight, we understand it's happening because Willie is reaching out. I'm sorry, yawning so much. Long day.
No, I get it.
It is reaching out to Blade, but then why harass the girls? Like, that didn't quite.
Because it's a cool sequence. That's all.
I know. I get it. I just didn't know if you had any headcanon, because it just seemed a little like, I understand going after Nelson, dick. I understand why going after the coach, dick. The whole point was that these were people that Willie has beef with.
Well, I think it's because it eventually leads to Blade finding the note on the mirror that says, "I still love you," or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what, I don't know. He's not thinking clearly, and he's just like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and why not? And I don't know. Maybe that's just what it is. I do like how.
Okay. I have a suggestion then. Just had some headcanon. Then maybe the purpose was to get Chelsea and Dana and random fourth girl out of there, so Willie could have Blade, like a 1-to-1, because the whole point was that Blade is the one who finds, Blade's the one who finds the message. Blade's the one who sees the message being written. And of course, we now know that the message was intended for Blade, because it was Willie reaching out. So the only kind of justification I get is that he was trying to do some shenanigans to kind of keep up with the whole ghost thing, but then also chase the other girls out of the room so he could, quote, have a moment with Blade.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think that's maybe what he would go for, if you want to go for that, for the headcanon of the situation. Yeah. And, but for the most part, it's like, oh yeah, let's have this intense shower sequence. And then I love how Max was like outside, and then she.
Okay, that's a whole different meaning to me. I'm sorry.
I know.
that was a very choice phrase you just used, and I'm just.
That's what I do. Even
though it wasn't intentional, I'm just intense shower sequence.
Shower sequence. Yeah, I know. We got to remember. Wait, this is supposed to be high school here. Well, let's relax. But we'll assume they're all 18. Anyways,
we know they're 17. Wait.
Oh shit. But like Max, I love how Max was out there, and then she dropped the Phantom Menace line.
Yeah.
I'm going. Oh yeah, because we're talking. I'm like, this of course came out in 99.
Yeah,
After because this is fall of 99, right? Probably.
Yes, this would be fall of 99.
So obviously the
no, okay. I'm actually gonna double check this.
I'm pretty sure, like, because there's no way that you drop, where Max drops the line, like, like she says something about, your Phantom Menace. There's no way that it's like there that's. I mean, but then again, who knows?
Oh yeah, December 11th, 1999 was the air date of this episode.
Star Wars Phantom Menace was already out, so it's like, oh yeah, drop that freaking, because who the hell knew that those two words together? Yeah, Phantom Menace before Star Wars Episode 1. I still remember when that title was revealed. I remember just being in, what the hell, Phantom Menace? That's a
what does this
title.
mean?
What does that even mean? And it wasn't one of those where let's just type it into the Google machine, or no, that was one of those where we just had to kind of go, well, I guess we can go to the library and look it up.
That it was more just like, I guess we get to wait till May when the movie comes out.
Yeah, it was just all just wow. But yeah, so it was like when she said that, I was like, oh wow. I mean, like, oh yeah, this definitely came out after that. So, and then of course, we see Blade. She finds the notes, and then this is where Terry starts figuring it out, and he's like, yep, Willie Watt, good old Willie Watt. So Terry takes it upon himself to go to the juvie center to visit him, and then naturally it's like it's always that sad thing where the guard's like, wow, nobody visits Willie. And he's like, what? Not even his own dad? No, nobody does. It's like, geez. So you're starting to feel sympathy for him a little bit. Because it's like, oh man, nobody wants to visit him. And then of course, when he sees him, Willie's been bulking up a little bit.
And they actually do it quite subtle. Like he's not like ripped, but he is definitely, when you look at what a beanpole he was in Gollum, he looks bigger than Terry.
It's believable.
Yes.
Because if he's been there for, a certain amount of time and being a young kid full of hormones and everything like that, he's lifting weights every day because he's trying to pass the time and bored and whatever. Yeah. He's gonna beef up. He's going to beef up. Yeah, he does look like he's bigger than Terry and everything. So, and then this is a pretty cool exchange because, Terry just starts to because, obviously I like it how there's they're drinking water and stuff like that. And then Terry just goes, he figures it out like full on. And then he just throws his glass of water at him. And then of course it sticks in midair. And I'm like, that was pretty cool. It was a cool little sequence right there. I was like, good on Terry for figuring it out.
There was kind of a mano-a-mano kind of feel. Like Willie doesn't know that Terry's Batman, so it's not one of those kind of scenes.
No.
But there is sort of this,
I was just thinking about the Batman. I don't know why, but it's one of you're right. It's one of a mano-a-mano kind of thing. Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. And he doesn't know who Batman, but at the same time he's got this cockiness to him.
Right. But there's also I would figure that Willie maybe knows that Terry did time in juvie.
Oh
because there was that scene where he checks in with the guard. And he's like, yeah, I've been here before. It's a great little subtle hint to, Terry's backstory, which they've indicated that he has a juvie record.
Yeah.
And, that he was a troubled kid before, he became Batman. And I like that because it gives, this is going to sound really weird, but I like that it gives Terry and his Batman a little bit more like street cred.
I like it too. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And I think that subtle little, again, good writing when you can inject that little subtle thing like, oh yeah, I've been here before, as he checks in with his card. And I'm going like, oh yeah, I even thought the same thing too. I'm like, of course, that's, they're kind of just a little bit of something right there for people to be like, here, that Terry's got a little bit of a sketchy background. There's been hints before
Yeah, Dana's dad in Rats.
Didn't want, all that kind of stuff. So it's all been there. And there's all little, and that was just another little piece of like, we're not going to full on just, hey, this is what happened. No, we're just going to give little subtle things. And that's what's good about the writing.
Yeah. So I like the conversation. I like how they're all kind of like bros. Yeah. Willie has got such confidence now that he didn't have in Gollum, because it's kind of that situation of he's been in juvie. He knew he had something after the pier, after the accident, after he got electrocuted with the robot. We saw in that sort of Twilight Zone-esque ending that he was different. And so in this episode, like you said, he's a little bit more jacked. Let's take that back. He's a lot more jacked than he was. A lot more jacked, because he was a lot more jacked.
He was a pipsqueak. Yeah.
Right. But he's ditched the glasses, and he definitely has a confidence that he never had.
He ditched the glasses, but didn't ditch the haircut. Come on, Willie. Ditch that haircut. That haircut's awful. But hey, we still had to recognize that it was.
I think that's the point. If we did have a haircut, right? Yeah, if we did have the haircut, there's no way we'd recognize him as Willie from season 1.
Yeah, so. It's like you can get rid of the glasses, but that distinctive haircut that he had, they still had to keep that for aesthetic reasons, for sure. But yeah, so then of course, obviously, when Terry throws the glass and he stops it, and then all the stuff, and then the guards start coming in, and then this is where shit just goes haywire.
So one more little nitpick. Why wouldn't Willie know there's a freaking camera in the room?
Very true. Because he goes like, damn it, Terry, like as in Terry like set him up because the camera was there or something like that. It's like, come on.
That was a
little too convenient.
Yeah.
That was
like, of course there's a camera in the room.
I'm like, dude, you're smart, Willie. You know that there's a camera there. So yeah. No, that was dumb. I'll agree with that. Totally dumb. Because I'm like, of course. You're literally having a visitor. Do you think you're just going to be in a private room? It's not a conjugal visit, bud.
Or you're not meeting with your attorney,
Yeah, or that. Exactly. So
I love how you went with conjugal visit, and I was like, I go with attorney-client privilege.
I know. This is a juvie center. Why would I even go that route? Jesus Christ.
Because
more wine.
You're you, Dave.
I'm disgusting. But but of course, everything goes to shit. He's taking on the guards, and then he just fucking levitates right out of that freaking room because he's just like, fuck it. I'm just going to be out of here. Fuck this. I'm done. Because,
I like it but I then love how we jumped to the cave and Bruce is like, what'd you think was going to happen?
Exactly. I know. Bruce is like, yeah, what the? And he goes, yeah, I know. And then Terry goes, yeah, I know. I screwed up and blah, blah, blah. So it's another good scene in the Batcave between Terry and Bruce. And then we get a Barbara. Barbara appearance. What the hell? Because she shows up basically to the school and goes, hey, we got to close the school down because there's some shit that's about to go down. And she's talking to the principal to do it. And he, of course, is pushing back on it a little bit, but then she's like, no, you got to do it. And then, of course,
the school board is going to be on my back. And she's like, this is a court order. I'll be on your back.
Exactly. Babs being a badass, of course. And then, of course, she sees Terry. And then, we have like a little slight exchange, but, and then, of course, the principal does. It's so funny because, one of the things I think about when it comes to like school, like if you get that gets announced when you're in school, everybody's so happy. And I'm like, God damn,
you're a hero to my people.
Exactly. That's what Terry said to Barbara. And it's just funny because it's like, yeah, that's the case. But then at the same time, I'm like, it's so funny how like, I remember like being in high school, all throughout school, you just like, fuck. But at the same time, it's like a love-hate thing about school because, it sucks because you got to sit in class, got to do all this stuff. But then it's like all the friends you make and all there is such a love-hate for school. Like, yeah, it's just for some reason that whole thing reminded me of like, yeah, if I was in their position, I would be like, fuck yeah, we're done. We're doing this, school sucks. But then at the same time, it's like, how do you meet your friends? The friends,
Right.
lifelong friends, I still have friends from high school that I say, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. It's just, I was having one of those moments where I went totally off and I was like thinking about that. I don't know why, but
you were pondering deep thoughts, Dave.
Hey, I'm turning 42 today. Guys, you start thinking about that kind of shit on your birthday while you're drinking wine. Just saying. Cheers. Oh, man. Probably going to log into work late tomorrow. Anyways. So, yeah. So we get that. And then, of course, Nelson is just like, yeah, I'm going to get to my car. I'm going to, the waves are calling me. I'm going to ride some waves. And then Willie shows up, on the hood of his car.
That was okay. This is when the episode started coming back to me. I've talked about in previous episodes, like when I'm fuzzy on something, but then like one scene goes, "Oh, this is what stuck in my brain." Yeah. This is the thing that made me go. I remember the image of Willie standing on the roof of the car, messing with Nelson, like that. That was the only part of this episode that my brain went, oh, this episode.
I remember this part.
This episode. Yeah. That was all. That was it.
Yeah, and then of course when the car crashed, they're fine and everything, but then at the same time it's like, okay, so and Nelson actually brings up a good point. It's like, okay, if you're gonna take me on, it's like, dude, you have powers. I don't stand a chance. And then Willie goes, well, okay, well, let's just do a one-on-one, mano-y-mano. Let's not.
Once again, Willie's jacked now,
Yeah. So he's confident, but then it's like, yeah, you might be jacked, but
you don't know how to fight.
You don't know how to fight, and Nelson knows how to fight, so he starts kicking your ass, and then naturally, he stops his fist, and he goes, well, maybe just a little bit of powers, and it's like, yeah, of course, he knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, and let's be honest, Nelson had it.
Of course. Yes. No, I mean, I'm not rooting for Nelson. I'm just saying, like, yeah, like naturally, we knew that Willie wasn't going to just not
use his powers,
because he was going to be overpowered by, regardless of how big he's gotten. But naturally, this is where we're gonna get into the clip here of the episode, right when he stops his fist like that. So here we go.
Well, maybe just a little power.
Just a little power.
Boom.
Ouch.
God, Nelson's in the hospital after this.
Yep, that's not. Yeah, you don't walk away from that.
I do also appreciate. I know this is weird, but like I appreciate the way that Willie levitates.
Yeah,
that very sort of straight up and down way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then it's like, obviously Bruce gave him this,
Well, it's the same kind of it's the injector gun that we've had since the original series. It's the same design and everything. It's like Bruce has not changed, the inoculation machine.
I mean, that's what you got to do, right? But then you gotta somehow do it with a guy who's got.
Yeah, well, maybe you eject him while he wasn't paying attention and not be grabbing.
Yeah, not be so subtle, like not be so like in your face, not subtle, but in your face. Yeah, literally in his face.
Yeah, all of this, my brain was like, oh yes, I remember all of this. At the episode.
I mean, this gets freaking intense. Destroys that car, just
He's smart. Like Willie's keeping his distance. He's throwing stuff at him. He's not trying to beat Batman in like a fist fight.
Exactly.
And he's also not doing the thing where he stays in the air. He stays a good distance away. He finds really large things to throw at him. I mean, I'm gonna give Willie credit here.
Crush him.
He's utilizing his powers the way he should.
Right.
But then, of course, he didn't think about the Batarang.
Get away!
And then it's like, he gets all freaking anime on him.
I know, right?
Where it gets back to mind games.
Yeah. Level 3000. Well, Dragon Ball Z. There you go.
And then he messes up and says, "Oh shit,
dude!"
That's true to the face.
I mean, that should. And look how I also kind of appreciate how like mangled it because he just got smacked with a tree trunk.
Yeah. That's gonna F you up a little bit, and then of course everybody looks down, and then we get this kind of like. But it's okay. So what you were saying about
now,
there could have been something here.
Yes,
there really could have been something where, hey, you got a phone call.
Sorry,
or
no visitors.
You know, but then of course they just emphasize the fact that nobody wants to fucking visit Willie, and then of course we get this. You know, this is a nice little
trip. It was great.
Right now,
see,
I remember it too.
This is sweet and stuff, but it feels so disconnected from the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
The episode really should have ended on on that
yes.
on that zoom out on Willie. Like that's the way a Batman Beyond episode.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like I said, it should have ended with, "Oh, you have a visitor," and because, man, I mean, you were totally on to something when you were talking about that at the beginning, because the way this episode should have ended was because they emphasized that nobody visits Willie. They emphasized that when Terry visited. So then if like the guard goes, "Hey, you have a visitor," and then Willie would be like, "Who the hell would want to visit me?" And then all of a sudden like, they were like, I don't know, they said something from a trust or brain trust or something like that.
Or a phone call. It could have been as simple as
a phone call, whatever the hell.
Something.
Yeah, that would have been a much better ending. They didn't need to have two scenes. The one scene at the dinner table, I'm good with. Didn't need to have that last scene.
Well, or take those two scenes and flip them. Let Terry have the sweet scene with Matt.
Yeah.
And then, end on in my opinion, end on the downer note, which is, the villain locked up. That's I don't know.
Always a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they should have done that.
Still a fine episode,
Yeah, there's still an interesting episode. I still dug it. I think we both we have our grievances about it, but I think for the most part, we still very much enjoyed the episode.
I think what's happened here is that our brains are so much more serialized these days that more like we've got to remember that at the time this show is coming out, we are still wholly episodic in television. Like the animated universe the DCAU has not quite gotten as serialized as it will eventually become. Dear God, by the time we get to Justice League Unlimited, it's like every episode connects into another one kind of deal. But we're not there yet. We're still very episodic in nature. So I think what we're doing is like, if we could go back and do like a remaster, it would be like, there would be so much more connective tissue at this point. And if you saw that Mind Games comes out one week and Revenant comes out the next week, and you introduce the brain trust in Mind Games, and you have a telekinetic villain in the next episode, it just seems appropriate that there would be a callback or a shout out for the brain trust from one episode to the other.
Yeah.
But in a more episodic series, no, you would expect that. You would expect more self-contained stories, which is what we're getting.
But then you kind of wonder too, it's like when you're coming off of something like Mind Games and you go to something like this, it's like, did you not maybe space it out a little bit where you don't have, episodes that are
telekinetic episodes back.
Yeah, maybe not have them back to back. If you're gonna be so episodic and not have like connective tissue so much, maybe not have them back to back. Probably would be a good idea. And I think that's why, since we're watching these and talking about them weekly as 40-year-old men, we're going, hello. You could have, and maybe they even thought about that later on. And if we were to talk to like Bruce, Tim, and all these guys, yeah, they'd probably be like, yeah, you're right. We should have, yeah, totally. Oh yeah, the ending, if there would have been something from the Brain Trust, oh yeah, totally would have been, yeah, that would have been a way to go or something like that. They probably would agree with that. But at the time, they probably just weren't. They were probably just like, here's episode.
Right. Yeah. Alan, you're running this episode. Hillary, you're running this episode.
And then, of course, the order that it came in, they were probably just like, oh, okay, whatever, at the time.
Sometimes the order was basically based on what episodes got done first.
Exactly. So, but I'm sure in retrospect, they'd probably be like, yeah, we probably should have either spaced it out or did that connection, to the Brain Trust, which, yeah, I think that would have been, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned at the beginning. I was like, yeah, that would have been really cool if they did that.
That would have been cool, man.
What do we got next week?
Well, next week we have the episode Babel. I kind of, sort of, I mean, clearly from the title, I know the reference being made.
Yeah, I mean, Babel, yes. And then I'm looking at the thumbnail, and all you see is Batman like this. He's covering his ears, so obviously it has something to do with, obviously, Babel, language, something.
Right, which also means we know who the bad guy's going to be.
Who's the bad?
Who?
Babel?
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about it. This is okay. When you think of this, what kind of villain in the Beyond universe would this connect to?
Dude, I'm totally drawing a blank.
Do I have to tell you? Do I have to tell you?
You can. No, we don't have to. You don't have to say anything right now.
Okay.
You don't have to say anything right now.
I'm sure the chat is like blowing up, where they're like, "It's so and so."
It says. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Was it in the chat? Was it in the chat?
No, it didn't hit the chat. No, it didn't hit the chat.
Okay. Did it hit
you
though?
It just hit me.
Okay, good. Okay.
Starts with an S.
It starts with an S. Yes. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Oh God. I was like, what? Who? What are you talking? No, what? Oh, and then I'm like, because looking at the thumbnail and him doing that, like you said, all of a sudden it was like, oh shit. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I've had some wine tonight, guys. It's Wine Wednesday, and it took me a little bit. Took my brain.
You even on your birthday.
Oh, dude, I love it. That's part of the dynamic of this stream right here. Is I always feel like, oh God,
and by the way, doing this, I didn't look at the thumbnail. I didn't look at the description. I am just using, brain cells and my knowledge of Batman Beyond.
Fuck you. Great.
Yeah. Right.
It didn't hit me because I'm like, what villain would, Babel? And then why would Terry be doing that? And then I'm going, duh, if he's covering his ears, what villain, what name of the villain would cause him to cover his ears, Dave? Jesus Christ. Oh man, I was like, Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So there you go. Happy birthday to me. Yeah. So we're going to be watching Babel next week. And I'm sure you guys, anybody who's watching this either live or, later on, you're probably like, geez, we know exactly what it is. Come on. And hey, I got there.
You got there. Fair.
I got there. And I love it when I'm, pleasantly disappointing in myself because, it's happened many times.
Entertainment for the rest of us.
Exactly. It's entertainment. So, sometimes, it takes me a little bit to get there and I finally got there. Like I said, if I didn't look at that thumbnail on HBO Max, I probably wouldn't have gotten there just by the title alone. I definitely wouldn't have gotten there. But it was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's covering his ears. Fuck. Duh, my God. Anyways, what do you got to promote, Scott?
Well, of course, you can find me on X at ScottDC27, on Vero at Scott McClellan, and on Letterboxd at Scott McClellan at ScottDC27. As a reference to the beginning of the episode, thanks to Tony Chapel Bowlenclef, I did watch Play Dirty today. I was excited because I am a fan of the character of Parker from the novels by Richard Stark, aka Donald E. Westlake. Lee Marvin, Mel Gibson, Jason Statham have all played this character. But this was an interesting idea of watching a Parker movie co-written and directed by Shane Black.
That's why I want to see it. Hell yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, you will not be disappointed, because as a Parker fan, Mark Wahlberg and the way the character is written nails, in my opinion, the character of Parker. But this film is undeniably a Shane Black movie.
Oh, so yeah. Thank God. Oh, yeah. What is it on? What streaming?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm watching that, dude.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And who's the other guy? Lakeith. I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too, but he plays another recurring character from the series. His name is Grofield. Okay. So it's like I said, for our Parker fans, it's a treat. It's a fun, pulpy heist movie, and music by Alan Silvestri. Oh, it was. So watch the movie, check out my full review on Letterboxd. And then I am going to go see Anemone, the new Daniel Day-Lewis movie, tomorrow night. And
yeah,
I want to check that out. And then I'm trying to swing. It may not happen on Friday night, but I am planning on seeing The Smashing Machine on Friday night.
Yeah, I'm seeing that tomorrow. That's the movie. I like Lakeith Stanfield. That's who it is. Stanfield. Sorry.
Stanfield. Yeah.
I was like trying to remember. I knew it was Lakeith, but I couldn't remember his last name. But he's a good actor for sure. Yeah, I'm seeing The Smashing Machine tomorrow. I didn't realize Good Boy was coming out this week too. But man, I'm like, I'm going to watch that, but I'm probably gonna wait to watch it at home, because I'm gonna hold on to like a stuffed pillow, or not a pillow, but I'm gonna stuffed animal or something, because I just worry about that dog in that fucking and when I even read the reviews, man, one of the reviews they literally said, when it leads to the heartbreaking ending, I'm like, don't say that. Well, you just said heartbreaking ending. I'm like, that movie. It's only an hour and 13 minutes too, by that.
Wow. Well, I mean,
it's a short movie.
Well, good horror movies usually are. You know
what? And it's cool because the director, that's his dog. That is his dog.
Wow.
That is so nepotism. Hello. No, just kidding. But I'm just saying that, when I found that out, I was like, oh, he used his own dog in the movie. I'm like, that's really cool. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to make it too long, because why would you want to make it too long when it's like this dog is like literally like the whole time he's going to be like frightened and stuff like that, Hopefully he was like, you know what, this is just about enough. But when I saw the review of somebody saying a heartbreaking ending, I'm like, no, I don't think the dog's going to die. I don't think he would do that, because why would he want to kill his own dog? But I think it's just going to be sad of how the dog reacts. Anyways, I'm going too much on that. I'm seeing The Smashing Machine tomorrow, because I've given Dwayne Johnson some shit in the past couple of years, and where I even said, like, he needs to change it up. You can't do this shtick for too long. And I think he's finally, with this movie, we're going to see Dwayne Johnson as an actor.
Well, because you got Sad, Benny Sadfi, and it's an A24 movie.
Yeah.
So yes, there's that. Like I said, I'm going to catch it, but I have more limited time to be able to catch Anemone, and it's Daniel Day-Lewis. I didn't realize the movie is co-written by Daniel Day-Lewis. I knew it was directed by his son, and he's coming out of retirement, and I'm just like, it's got Sean Bean in it.
I didn't know Sean Bean was in it.
Yeah. They play brothers. So
yeah, I didn't watch that first trailer. And then when I was like, oh wait, Sean Bean's in this, and then I finally watched the trailer, I'm like, god damn, yeah. Damn, there's like another movie coming out called Bone Lake that's getting rave reviews.
I heard about that. Yes.
And I'm like going, god damn, there is like a selection this weekend, which I love. This is what I love about these months, and then of course they're pushing out like, hey, it's award season now. I mean, October is literally the start of award season.
Well, and that's part of the reason also that I'm doing Anemone, because there's a there's a giveaway happening with AMC with Focus Features.
Okay.
And Focus Features has 5 movies coming out in this fall.
Wow.
And I can win a $200 gift card if I see all 5 of them.
Wow.
So I've already seen Downton Abbey. Then I got to see Anna Monet. Then I got to see the only one I'm not like I wouldn't see if it wasn't for this is the new that new Emma Stone movie Bulgaria. It's got
I want to see that. The Luca movie, right?
Yeah, not Luca. Luca's doing After the Hunt.
It's the other guy.
It's the other guy. The guy who did like Poor Things and yeah.
I want to see that movie because I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm like, I want to believe that she's actually an alien.
Yeah. Well, there's that one. And then there's Hamnet coming out in November. And then
who directed that one?
Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. I knew somebody known directed that one. Yeah.
Right. And then the last one in December is that Song Sung Blue, the Hugh Jackman, Kate Hudson movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where he's like an aging pop star or rock star or whatever the hell.
No, actually, he's a guy. He's a Vietnam vet who was a Neil Diamond interpreter.
That's what it was. Okay, because I think there's another movie he's actually going to be like when it's coming to that. But I know that trailer came out. I miss trailers all the time where I'm like, oh, I got to watch that. And then I just forget about them. That's why I started doing on Film Junkie Live. Like my 4th topic for like the last couple of weeks has been
it was trailers you missed.
Trailers I missed. And I'm like, I keep missing trailers. So let's watch trailers. You know, there's not like a ton of news out there. So let's just have the last topic just, hey, I'm going to react to trailers. And so that's, there's a Daisy Ridley zombie movie, that I just watched the trailer for that.
What? I didn't know about that.
Exactly. And it looks good. Like it's not like B-roll. It was like, oh shit. Daisy really starring in a zombie movie, and it looks actually really good. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I just watched that today. So
okay.
Yeah. See? I mean, that's the thing. Trailers just come out, and sometimes
by the way, okay. I know, like, I love how the end of our Fan-imated stream just becomes David Scott talking about movies. But I have to talk to you about this. This is the tangent at the end of the episode.
Yes.
Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Yes.
Oh, I talked about that too tonight. Yes. I cannot wait to see that all together. One movie.
Here's my thoughts on it. And I'm curious if they mirror your thoughts. I remember when Kill Bill came out, I knew that Quentin Tarantino wrote it as one script. And then for financial and budgetary reasons had to break it up into 2 movies. But once I saw the 2 movies, I was always conflicted on the concept of the whole bloody affair because how different the 2 movies feel.
One's a kung fu movie, one's a Western.
Right. Yes. So I'm very curious now there is going to be an intermission.
Yes.
So right, because it's 4 hours and 18 minutes. So I am very curious how maybe the intermission is the sweet spot there.
Maybe.
I don't know. I am curious about this because, they take away the cliffhanger ending of volume 1. They take away the recap at the beginning of volume 2. And there's 7 more minutes of anime in the movie. So, I am color me intrigued.
So am I. And I even talked about this is what I talked about on tonight's show. I was like, I'm very curious of how they splice the 2 together because obviously it can't have similar things the way that the volume 1 ends and volume 2 begins. It's got to just obviously it's.
But once again, the intermission kind of gives you a cheat there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I'm just like, I'm kind of curious of how it splices together because I even said the same thing. I'm like, they are 2 distinctive tones.
Mm-hmm.
Like one's like a kung fu movie, and samurai.
Once again, and a great go to HBO Max if you really want to feel Kill Bill Volume 1, Criterion Collection on HBO Max. Watch Lady Snowblood.
There you go.
Which was this 70s Japanese revenge movie that the song from that movie, sung by the actress who plays the protagonist, is the song that plays during the end credits or during the snow fight scene at the end of Volume 1. It's one of those that you just go, if you're in Tarantino's brain, you're like,
yeah, I see what you're talking about. I see what you're doing here, bud. Yeah. No, I'm very curious about that. I was like, oh, it's coming in December. Yep, I'll be there.
Please be playing in a theater near me. Like,
I know, please. I'm also feeling that too. I'm like, please let it be.
It's Lionsgate, so I feel like there's a possibility. I mean, I'm doing the special event that Lionsgate is doing, where they're doing the 25th anniversary of Battle Royale, that Japanese movie that was like the Hunger Games before Hunger Games. So I'm hoping that with Lionsgate, even if I have to do like, I have to pay, I mean, it's 4 hours and 18 minutes. Like, it's going to be hard to, I'm probably going to be paying a premium price. It's probably going to be A-list excluded, but I don't care. I will pay to see that movie. I will.
I'm so down for that. So anyways, guys, there's our tangent for the end of the episode right there. Where we just kind of catch up and talk, because things come out, and it's like we are excited for things,
for movies,
especially when it comes to something like that, for sure. So anyways, guys, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Did you promote everything that you wanted to promote,
Absolutely. I'm gonna say, go watch Play Dirty, go have a good time.
I cannot wait. I always forget. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Shane Black. Of course I'm gonna fucking see that.
I know. That's why I actually wanted to make sure that I watched it before the stream so that I could reinforce, because I know how much you and I both love Shane Black.
God, should have been a Nice Guys 3 by now, for fuck's sake. But anyways, such a good movie. That was like my favorite movie of 2016? Yeah, 16, I think it was, right? Nice Guys. I love that movie. I watched it. I don't know how many times I watched that movie, and every time it's one of those movies where I rewind on certain lines because it's how fucking good they're delivered by Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
And stuff.
Yeah, and stuff. Yeah, don't say and stuff.
Just say she's a whore.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week for, what was it called again? Babel. That's what it is. When it has it has a certain villain that would make you cover your ears. All right, guys. We love you, and we'll talk to you later.